You was living in autopilot, as you said, and another woman come and waking you up. What did she say, or what did she make to make you realize?
The turning point came after I realized it, and I just felt like, oh my God, I just lost all the labels that I used to define myself with. So that was really a crucial moment, but also painful, full of doubt and all these things. Also a moment where I started to reconnect with my own voice. And you once told me that your mission is roaring louder than a lion, and it really speaks to me, because that's exactly what I felt like. I'm hearing my own voice again. So that was super powerful, because this is really also, I'll tell you a bit more about the research I did, but a superpower that we have, a secret superpower that women have, is this intuition, this gut feeling. And I just started reconnecting again with it. So for me, that was really a turning point.
She is Ine Franckaert, career coach, founder of Head to Heart, and a woman on a mission to help others transform from inside out. In this episode, Ine shares her personal story of living on autopilot and the bold decision to rebuild her life and brand with purpose. We had a conversation about her powerful research with over 100 women, revealing the surprising truth about what really drives work happiness. You will learn how age can actually boost clarity and confidence, why intuition is a woman's secret superpower, and how to quiet the inner critic when perfectionism or impostor syndrome takes over. So please grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and enjoy this episode of the Brilliantly Branded podcast.
Welcome one more time to the Brilliantly Branded podcast. Our episode today is going to be about transformation from inside out, that I think is one of the most important things in life when you go and see inner self. And my guest today is an inspiring woman. She's the woman behind the brand Head to Heart. That sounds already say a lot, close to your heart. She's a career coach. She helps women reconnect with themselves. That's the reason why we connected very well as well. We have a similar purposes in life. She is actually helping women to rewrite their paths and shape their own identity that feel deeply authentic. So today we are going to explore what really means to redevelop yourself when you are in those situations where you really need to taking care of, okay, what is going to happen and how I'm going to manage that, the power of purpose, the power of meaning, and how to shape these two both. Sometimes is important to have company that helping you to reshape that path. So I don't wanted to spoil more information about my guest that will introduce herself. I just wanted to give a big welcome to Ine. Ine, our main topic will be the power of this, redeveloping yourself as a woman. And who better than you to introduce yourself and let us know a little bit more about you?
Thank you very much for the very warm welcome, Maria. I'm super happy to be here. And indeed, actually, we connected because you were one of the persons that I requested an interview with, because I was very curious to find out what makes you thrive in life. And just to introduce myself, I'm indeed Ine Franckaert. I live in Belgium. I'm a career coach since 2 years, but since 10, 15 years almost busy with development, and very interested in what makes women thrive, especially in their professional lives. So that's what I would like to tell you a little bit more about today.
Yeah, please. Well, part of your story is how you have been in certain way deciding to build the brand head to heart. And I would love to know where you was before deciding to start this path. What led you arrive to this moment of transformation?
Yeah, it's a very important question indeed, and it's something always that you notice later, because you can only know what you know by looking behind you. So actually, the first 35 years of my life, I kind of spent on autopilot. It sounds really bad. I wasn't really super unhappy, but I think that a lot of women do that. I did what I believed was expected from me. I married my high school sweetheart. We had two beautiful children. I supported him in his dreams and his ambitions and his business. And it wasn't like I wasn't present. I was part of the business, but always from a very safe distance. So looking back, I was kind of, struggling internally, because I realized it when another woman asked me, "Oh, what's your purpose in life? What do you want to do with your life?" And it was such a simple question. And I just couldn't answer it. So I realized for myself that that was really, yeah, something
Shocking.
very bad, actually, shocking, indeed. And then there was this woman, Mireille. She was a very wise woman who kind of opened my eyes. She put a mirror in front of me, and she really made me see that I was hiding a lot behind my role as a partner, as a mother, as a caregiver, a supporter. So that's really when everything cracked, and I realized, okay, this is not the life that I wanted. So this for me was a very important, painful trigger, but it was very there, so I couldn't ignore it anymore.
So you, and just to understand a little bit more, where are you coming from? So you was living in autopilot, as you said, and
Yes.
another woman come and like waking you up, in the sense that,
Exactly.
what did she say, or what did she make to make you realize, or what was this turning point for you to realize, do you know, I need to
Yeah,
change?
yeah. I just realized that I was not living according to my own values. So that was really something that I realized. I always was a rebel inside, and it came. Of course, these are patterns that come from very early childhood. So I was always a good girl and not a rebel, and I tried to please everyone, to be loved, and to do what was expected from me. But this is not really who I am. So she by asking the right questions, and by not telling me so, because that obviously doesn't work, but by really making myself feel it. And the turning point came after I realized it, like 10 years ago, more or less, when I separated from my husband. I also separated from the business, the recruitment business. And I just felt like, oh my God, I just lost all the labels that I used to define myself with. So that was really a crucial moment, but also, yeah, painful, full of doubt and all these things. But also a moment where I started to reconnect with my own voice. And you once told me that your mission is roaring louder than a lion, and it really speaks to me, because that's exactly what I felt like. I'm hearing my own voice again. So that was super powerful, because this is really, also I'll tell you a bit more about the research I did, but a very a superpower that we have, a secret superpower that women have, is this intuition, this gut feeling. And I just started reconnecting again with it. So for me, that was really a turning point.
Well, that is amazing, because when we have this waking up call and we realize, but we don't do anything, then we
Mhm.
are regretting many things. I
Yeah.
think I personally feeling identified with your story, because I have been there. I have
Hmm.
been receiving the messages clear to say, I need to do something. I need to give this step. I need to change. I need to pivot. I need to, sometimes, not because it's not enough. I consider myself, I am enough, but because I
Hmm.
wanted to give more. So I saw the part of what is connecting me with you is the fact that you did this research, and this research, actually you started to research for powerful women, to
Yes.
know how they have been making their life, and what are the different behaviors. I would love you to tell us a little bit more details
Yeah.
about how you decide to do this research, and what have been the results.
Yes. Maybe just stepping one step back before I answer your question, Maria. What was very important out of my own transformation, my brand grew. So head to heart, it already exists. Well, it exists a long time in my head already. It's quite new as a brand, but the curiosity: how do women get stuck? How do people grow? More importantly, and what are the triggers? That was really something that I couldn't let go of. And in particular, looking at women, some women, as a career coach, I see a lot of people who come into my, well, I call it cabinets because it looks so nice, but they come to me and they're really stuck and they feel lost and disconnected and very uncertain about what's going to be next. And then at the same time, because I'm also still in a corporate environment, working in a corporate environment because I want to feel what it's like there. I see clients, I see colleagues, and they thrive in their work. So I really wondered what makes the difference and how is it just luck? Is it just that they're more aligned? What makes a difference? So that's really, to answer your question, that was a trigger for me to dig deeper, to really understand, okay, what are the motivators that brings work happiness? And that's why I did a research project, which contained a part of surveys and also deep interviews, where I dug a little bit deeper into the motivations of about 120 women in
Wow.
various sectors, various ages. Yes.
Wow, that is already a lot, and I can say that because I've been in the same similar path, doing this interview, arriving to the 100 episode, and I am so proud about that. And in fact, is very interesting. So I can imagine how you have been discovering the stories behind each of those. It have been just women, right?
Yes, I've interviewed only women this time. Yes, because
Wow.
it was really something that I also have men clients in my as a career coach, but I see a lot more women, and also there's a big difference in the challenges that people come to me about. So it's really striking that women have other challenges than men. So I really wanted to concentrate and focus on the women.
And based on that, what have been the commonality of challenges that this group of women have been sharing with you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, it was a very personal challenges and also not a very linear process. What also struck me is that most of the women that were really feeling fulfilled in their professional lives, it wasn't about titles, it wasn't about the biggest salary packages. It was really about feeling aligned with what they were doing, feeling aligned, meaning that having their values, internal values, being reflected in their work as well, and not being someone else, but really feeling like they can thrive and they can fully be themselves in a work environment. That was really something that struck me. And also the motivators, a bit building on that, were like autonomy, meaningful impact, which is also purpose, of course, and opportunities for growth. A lot more than salary, a lot more than titles.
Mhm. Into this target group, do you have an age target group specifically or not? And I am doing this question because based on your age as well, and the
Yes.
moment in life that you are living, that could be shifting, changing. Do you have something to share with us about that?
Yes, indeed. We, in this case, it's not about anti-aging. It's actually the opposite. Actually, in this one, it really brings us clarity and brings us more fulfillment. Actually, you really
Mm.
see a difference between women late 40s, begin 50s, who feel a lot more fulfilled, who I think, of course, also have more financial stability, but also are in roles where they are, again, much more aligned with their internal values. Whilst people in their late 20s, early 30s, they still need to prove a lot or have the feeling that they have to prove a lot to the external world. So they are less feeling really comfortable in their position, and they're less rooted, as it would, in where they are on their professional careers. They're more building a CV, whilst the more mature women are more building a life.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
difference.
this is many things that happen around, and one of the thing is how we have those inner blockers. You know, how we. I was one of those pursuing the perfectionism all the time, until the
Yeah.
moment that I said, it's better do it that perfect. Is
Yes.
I know that things cannot be perfect anymore. I'm going just to be a doer, and in
Yeah.
through the way to be a doer, I have been adjusting things here and there. But I know that we have this perfectionism and
Mm.
the imposter syndrome all the time present.
Yeah.
So what would you be advising to all the women that are listening to us right now, and all genders as well, because I think your advice will touch everyone, to really try to overcome that?
Well, overcoming, it's something that, first of all, I want to say that imposter syndrome, and not feeling enough, like I also have these feelings, of course, it's something super universal, especially with women. So it's okay to have them, it's quite normal to have them, but you have to see them for who they are. They are more protectionism mechanisms, but they're not the truth. So I think that's a very important thing to see. For myself, it really helps to allow myself to fail, to choose, or just what you said, actually, Maria, choose courage over controlling everything, and also really surrounding yourself with people that sometimes, you have moments in your life when you maybe can't really see your worth. So surround yourself with people who do, and who really build you up as a person. So that's something that for me definitely helps.
Yeah, and sometimes many people have been telling me, well, it's easy to say it, but to do it is very complicated. And
Very complicated, and
yeah,
it's a process.
jumping is a
Yeah.
process. And I think it's important for us to talk about this process, because,
Mm.
as I was saying at the beginning, sometimes we think that we need to do everything by ourselves. We never need to go and ask for help, because we are powerful enough to do the things. We don't need help. We never ask about
Mm.
anything. So I think that from you and from me, coming from this advice, coming from two women that have been just doing things, and how would you be telling to a woman that is thinking, well, how I'm going to give these next steps, how to follow the steps, let's say, or the process,
Mm.
or accepting this process in certain way?
Yeah, yeah. There's of course not a one size fits all, but I think already realizing that she's not alone is really very much helpful. Feeling stuck in life, or lost, or unsure about, is this really where I should be being now, or should be doing right now, is something super normal. But of course, the lens that we look through, that can really change. And I think we should focus on the lens we look through. And this is by reconnecting with yourself. I really experienced it for myself as well. And it's so powerful. We women, again, we are very intuitive beings, but we have learned to deny, to ignore our gut feeling, and to prioritize logic, performance, what are we supposed to do. But this, I mean, and it's not some fluffy extra. So it's really at the core. Neuroscience backs this up as well, Maria. I'm not inventing things. Very a lot of the time, your right brain, your intuitive brain, already knows what's good for you before your rational brain can explain why. Einstein didn't test everything. He said, okay, I think this should work, and then he tested it, and then of course the analysis backs it up. I'm not saying that all these women, because actually almost, to be very precise, 67% of the women in my research in the Work Happiness Project declared that they made major career decisions based on gut feeling. Of course, in the interviews, they nuance it by saying it's backed up by analysis, by research, etc. But at first instance, it's not something external. It's not what they're supposed to do. It's really connecting with themselves. And that's really a difference. For me, it's also so valuable because it's always there. You know, your inner voice, your gut feeling is always there. You just have to make space to make it heard.
Yeah, actually, that will be another question. How do you really reconnect with yourself? It's
Yeah.
because is I'm coming back a little bit with the experiences. So, well, you can say it, but how you can do it actually and do it properly? Because
Yeah.
I have my own practices to reconnect with myself, and I'm
Mhm.
bringing myself back to the center in certain way, trying to don't control and trying to just to live the life. But I will love you to share how do you or you will advise people that they can reconnect with themselves.
Yeah. I think a very big difference is in where people are in their stage of life. Is it someone who's, for example, used to meditation? Is it someone who's very, doesn't want, and I don't want to polarize or something, but doesn't want to hug any trees, and we don't do that. We don't hug trees, but it's very important to see. Okay,
I love
what
to
is this?
hug trees.
What is this person in front of me? What is he open for? And for me, myself, I'm someone super energetic. I love action. You don't have to put me in a silence retreat for 3 days because I'll just go crazy. What works for me and what works for a lot of people, and I also do that with my clients, I walk in nature. So I really love to be in nature, reconnect with nature. But meditation also works, but also it's really the small things about noticing if you feel like for this podcast, for example, yeah, I felt a bit like nervous or excited. Is it stress? Is it? And then really feeling within your own body, connecting with your body. Okay, what is it that I feel? And I thought, okay, it's not stress. It's just being excited, being happy, being enthusiastic. And I really felt it like in my belly. And it's like this bit of adrenaline. So if you reconnect and just allow the feeling to be there, it really helps and it smoothens everything. And every emotion is there as a messenger. So they're there to help you. So if you can just see what the message is that he or she brings and see what it does to your body, it already smoothens out a lot. But it's sometimes a difficult quest to find out for a lot of people what exactly works. And it's trial and error.
That is so powerful. And I am just having a deep sigh because I am feeling, I have been there many times trying to embody my feelings. Embody, okay, I am not feeling good, but where in my body I'm feeling that. And
Mhm.
sometimes I have to confess, I haven't found what that exactly mean until something changed, something in some point, and that actually happened to me yesterday. And I
Really?
was in the morning, I was not feeling good, and I was, what is happening? What is this? And the day was going. And I shared that with Philippe. And then he was curious about what's have been happening. And all of a sudden, I shift because I realized what was this emotion that I was having and
Mhm.
was trying to get it into, but what or where this emotion is coming from. And that was really quite difficult to arrive to this
Mhm.
point. So, in the rush that we live every day, sometimes we say, well, how I am going to do all this process and take the
Yeah,
time to do the embodiment and all those things.
yeah,
We are living in a world where we need to really solve. And then it's just connecting with my last question, just to start to wrap up, and it's based on this huge and amazing research that you have been done. What will be the next steps? What is coming from Ine from now on?
well, I can't stop interviewing powerful women, so I'm I'm still I'm still doing that. I keep on connecting, like you also connect me with other people, and so it's so nice to have this flow. But then what I'm also already doing is interview the side of the business. So I want to know in organizations, what do leaders, how do they look at well-being of, and then I will extrapolate it to women and men. How do they look at well-being? Is it like, okay, the fruit is there, there's a yoga session once a month and that's it? Or is there like a safe space? Because it's very obvious from my research that it's not, these successful or powerful women are not just waiting for the organization to make it happen. They very much take their own initiative. It's a lot about mindset. It's a lot about beliefs. It's a lot about what's inside their own process. So it's well-being at work or work happiness is, for me already now, obviously a dual responsibility. But I think that we can help organizations to create this environment where people are also helped and supported to be their best selves, to develop themselves for the best version. Because, of course, if you thrive in work, you deliver the best results.
That
So
is
it's a
making
win-win.
a huge difference, exactly. And part of the things that I have been, not because I invented, but I have been listening carefully to many people say, we are shifting from the world of mind to the world of heart.
Exactly.
And that is something super powerful, because you now can see that, people can be very analytic and living on that, but then is something in them that is missing, this lack of connection, this lack of meaning in life. And if you are supporting people with that, well, welcome. And I am so happy for the work that you are doing. So congratulations, Ine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And thank you for being here, for sharing part of your story, because I know that you still have a lot of things, a lot of value to deliver. I will love people connect with you. And I don't know if you have any other additional words that you wanted to leave it in the Brilliantly Branded podcast.
Well, I love your podcast. I already listened to a lot of very interesting stories. So please continue as well. Thank you very much for the space you've given me. And people are always welcome on the website. It's www.headtoheart.club. Welcome to the club.
Oh, yes. That's fantastic. Of course. Well, thank you, Ine. And thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Bye.
Bye. I'm grateful by having you as a listener on this episode. I am in the mission of empowering thousands of women around the globe, and I need your support for that. Help me to spread the voice by sharing this episode and subscribe to our social media channels. And remember, if you want to listen to exceptional stories and have someone that inspires you, please get in touch with me, because I will love to have them as a guest to learn from their experience and share their story with you next time. So until the next episode, ciao, ciao.